First of all, if you're setting out when snow or ice is forecast, ask yourself the question, is your journey really necessary? If it is essential, then there are a few things that you need to remember to take with you in case of either an emergency or an accident. Let's have a look at some of the things that you need for your journey. First of all, flask with a hot drink in case you break down. That's essential. Collapsible shovel, right, very useful if you need to dig yourself out from snow and or ice. First aid kit, again another essential that is really important to have with you should you break down. Snow brush for keeping your windows clear and your front windscreen and your rear windscreen. Very important to keep as much visibility as possible. Another essential, torch. If it's night time or if the light is fading, that will come in very useful for looking round the car. Winter boots. Again, if you break down, you may need to walk away from the car to find help. Ivy's jacket, if you've got one, and or some extra warm clothing like trousers and or shirt. Also, you've got all your emergency stuff, but don't forget, before you set out on a journey, to check a few different things. There's some things that you need to definitely check before you start your journey. Make sure that all your lights are working and also that the bulbs don't need replacing. Good lights, working lights are absolutely essential. Also, as we move around the car, make sure that you've got some decent tyres on. The legal minimum requirement is 1.6mm across the central 3/4 of the width of the tyre and right round the circumference. However, remember that's only the minimum. You probably need at least 3 to 4mm on your tyre. And also don't forget to make sure that they are correctly inflated. As we move around to the front of the car, again, make sure your wiper blades are up to date and there's plenty of use in them. Tyres again, as we've mentioned. Also headlight bulbs. You'll have often seen cars driving along in winter time at night time with one light out. That can be very confusing for other drivers. Again, as we walk around the side of the car, make sure that your indicators are functioning as well. You can test these by pressing the hazard warning light switch inside your car. And then, as we look at the car, don't forget to make sure that you clear all snow off your windscreens and all the windows of the car. You'll often see drivers, they'll have only cleared out a little square at the front windscreen, but you need to get as much snow and ice off as possible. Also, it's useful if you can try and clear it off the top of the car and also the bonnet of it and the back of the car so that it doesn't fall onto other drivers' cars, thereby impeding their vision. We've just been talking about keeping the good condition of the wiper blades. How do we keep the windscreen clear? Okay, we need to make sure that we've got our bottle of water in the back of the car. We may need to pull up and stop by the side of the road, pour it over the windscreen, back and front, and then set the wiper blades going to make sure that it clears the windscreens. Also, we need the internal controls, like the heater, switched on to maximum, but pointed on towards the screen, so that they're making the screen defrost from the inside as well. Give it a few minutes for that to take effect, and that should hopefully clear the screen. If when you're starting off in snow and your car begins to slip or slide, then it's important to move off in as higher a gear as possible. That will help to avoid wheel spin. When you've actually got the vehicle going, It's very, very important when you're driving in snow and ice to use the controls very sensitively and very delicately. The accelerator, the brake and the clutch, so that you can help to prevent wheel spin or skidding. Because of the snow and the ice, you need to keep a much greater distance between your own vehicle and the vehicle in front of you. Now that can be actually up to about 10 times what you would normally leave during ordinary dry weather. If you actually get stuck in the car and you find that you can't move either forwards or backwards, then you can use your shovel to dig you out a little bit, but also it's a good idea to have some old sacks with you or some old car mats so that you can actually put them under the drive wheels to help you get some grip and to get you out of the situation. Also, try to rock the car ever so slightly forwards and backwards a little bit at a time, and that should hopefully help to get you out of the problem. Let's remember the 5 important things that we've got to consider when we're driving in snow or ice. Excuse me. Firstly, don't go too fast for the conditions. Keep your speed down. Even if your speed is only 1 or 2 miles an hour too fast for the conditions, for example, if you're going downhill, that could still be too fast and cause a problem. Secondly, don't drive too close to the vehicle in front. Remember what we said. Keep a big distance away from that vehicle, up to 10 times that distance. If you've got that space, you've then got that time to react should the driver in front suddenly do something that you're not expecting or suddenly skid themselves. Thirdly, it's very important to use all your controls, the accelerator, the brake and the clutch, very delicately and very sensitively. Heavy use of the accelerator, for example, could create wheel spin. Fourthly, it's very, very important to make sure that you've got good all-round observation and visibility. Make sure all your windscreens are cleared, back and front, and all your side windows. And if they get blocked up, pull up somewhere safe and clean them again. Last of all, but not least, it's important that you prepare for your journey. Good preparation will help you to sort things out should the situation go wrong and should the weather get too bad.